Hello and welcome to the second part of the High Performance Imports V1 video commentary. This part is going to show us the TRD factory and also the Tomei factory, which are both quite close to Tokyo. This is an actual GT500 engine.
In the Super GT500 cars are actually 4 cylinders. These engines are built by TRD in Yokohama. They're based on the 3S GT-R block, but have undergone so much development during the last decade that they're scarcely recognizable.
I did this video, I think, just after having been to Tokyo Auto Salon. So I made a couple of contacts while I was there, and TRD invited me to come out and have a look at the factory, which, judging by the looks on the faces of the guys in there, was a bit unusual, particularly for a gaijin. But it was pretty cool. I got to see this this GT500 engine actually being dyno tuned.
Many of the parts are one-off billet items machined in-house by TRD.
And yeah, a lot of the other machine rooms, which not many people got to see back then. As you can see, they made as much as they could themselves. Probably about maybe half of the factory was given over to developing stuff for the GT cars, and the rest was for road cars.
Forms of motorsport that Toyota is involved in. The Vitz Challenge, for example, is a popular one-make series based on what we would call a three-door Echo.
I think TRD still does this sort of thing for GR86 and other one-make series. Well, now you've got Gazoo Racing, so I'm not sure where that crosses over.
Like Spec M Celica are developed here too.
They never went anywhere, did they? That model Celica. Bit of a shame they just didn't sell. Weren't really quite up to the Honda Type R's of the day.
TRD also use their own bolt-on turbocharger systems, like the one used on the Australian Corolla Sportivo. They have already developed an Echo Turbo, which will be released here soon.
But I think there's an Altezza which would have had the Beams motor.
Another interesting race series is Formula Toyota. These cars look like Formula Fords, but use a dry-sumped, race-prepared version of the 4AGE 20-valve engine. Much better than some rattly old Kent motor.
Not what used to any Ford fans there, but I think you'd have to admit that a 4AG is quite a lot more advanced than a Kent motor. There's still a couple of different open wheel categories like this in Japan. Don't know if this particular one's still going. Probably.
The parts developed by TRD are mostly manufactured by outside companies such as KYB, Exceedi and Modelista. To give you an idea of the variety of parts they offer,
this is a JZX110, which was a brand new car at the time. It had literally just come out at the Tokyo Motor Show, not much before I did this video. Interestingly, I can't say I've ever seen one on the road. So, I mean the TRD version. So I don't think they were a really good seller. They were quite a lot more expensive than a standard one, and not really any faster. There's lots of bits for TRD written on them. Cool car though. They actually let me drive it around the car park, which was pretty pointless because I couldn't go any faster than about 40 k's an hour. But still, it was cool at the time. They're talking about me in the background there. Unfortunately, it didn't have a bigger turbo or anything, just had the standard CT26 I think they had.
The exhaust system is still very quiet, but sounds better than the standard item.
Now this is just driving up onto a hoist, so I can have a look at the bottom of the car.
Underneath, TRD fit a large brace to improve chassis rigidity.
There's quite a lot done under here.
The front has a brace too, with lower springs, stiffer shocks and thicker sway bars.
I think you'd really have to go onto a track to tell the difference, though.
Braided lines are also fitted as part of the brake upgrade.
In some countries you wouldn't be allowed to do that, but in Japan you could. Anyway, on to Tomei. Tomei is quite a popular brand in Australia for Nissan stuff in particular.
Specialising in engine parts like pistons and camshafts. Their R34 drag car competes in the open class, so it uses proper drag slicks.
Yeah, it's called the Pro class, actually.
The engine makes well over 1,000 horsepower and has already powered the car to an 8.5 second pass, though Tomei are aiming for 8 flat.
Apparently it actually made 1,100 horsepower at 11,000 RPM. And the best they got, I think, was a 8.3. But that was at Sendai Highland, which was a fairly traction-limited track, so it probably could have done better than that.
Inside, it's fully stripped with a custom dash, and the seat is about 20 centimetres further back than standard. Note the extended gear shift linkage.
Yeah, at this point the R34 GT-R was only a year old, I think, so they certainly got stuck into it pretty quickly with this thing.
Öhlins coilovers, but the overall design is not too far from standard.
Goodyear drag radials. Haven't seen them for a while.
This new plenum will soon be fitted to the car. Tomei also showed us how they design their famous engine parts. This is a new I-beam Conrod design Tomei will be releasing soon.
It's sort of the bread and butter for Tomei. They do a lot of internal engine parts at the time, particularly for Nissan
Though it looks expensive,
and also
the slot
Mitsubishi.
throttle system for an SR20 engine uses the standard SR20 fuel rail and injectors with standard GT-R throttle plates, making it quite an affordable upgrade for club cars.
It's again something I can't remember actually seeing on a car. It's still in development at this time. Mind you, naturally aspirated SR20s are not seen overseas very much.
Camshafts, which are all designed on the same CAD system.
This is about the time they brought in their pon cam type camshafts, which were specifically designed to just bolt in. Comes from the Japanese word ponsuke, meaning you can just bolt it in.
This machine can turn out a new camshaft in just 5 minutes.
Without having to change valve springs or lifters or anything else.
This one is a 256 degree SR20 cam with 11 millimeters of lift. The specs are checked by hand for every cam.
That would not be a pon cam. Too high in lift.
Tomei also offer complete rebuilt engines, such as this RB26 GT-R engine.
I think they're still doing this actually. You can just buy a ready-to-go, rebuilt and upgraded motor, and you just have to send them your old motor when you finished. Otherwise, you have to pay an extra fee for the blank engine, the old engine, if you like.
The engines are fully balanced and rebuilt with Tomei pistons.
Pretty handy service if you want a motor in a hurry, as they've already got quite a few of them sitting on the shelf. Well, they did when I was there. They weren't crazy engines. They're usually sort of probably about a 50% power increase if you
also have high flow turbos
had everything that comes with them normally. Although they did have versions that were tuned higher than that.
Quality control. Here, Tomei are tuning their new Raytec ECU. This is a plug-in laptop programmable computer. It will soon be available for most popular imports at quite a reasonable price.
Yeah, back when they did that, there weren't very many programmable ECUs available in Japan.
The air-fuel ratio is.
We had quite a few in Australia at the time, funnily enough. You see the air-fuel ratio at the top in the middle 10.8, which is pretty rich, but using Japanese 100 octane fuel, apparently that is where they make the best power. Fuel in Australia is not as good as that stuff, and usually you'll make your best power a little bit leaner than that.
The TSR 380 engine is based on an SR20, but with a 2.2 litre crank and the usual Tomei upgrades, giving 380 horsepower and over 500 newton meters of torque.
So that's a good example. It's 100 horsepower more than the standard JDM S15. And this guy actually took me straight out on the road and started caning it. Unfortunately, there was just too much traffic, so we didn't really get to see much of what it could do. Shame the factory isn't near a freeway. Anyway, that's it for that one. Part 3 coming up soon, so please subscribe if you want to see some more.